Welcome on in. I'm going to teach you how to cook chicken cacciatore. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up an onion. And we're going to cut off the ends. We're going to cut it in half. Remove the outer layer. I'm going to cut it into slices. I'm going to do the same for this one. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to get the oven ready, or the stove top ready. We're going to add olive oil. We're going to add our onions. I'm going to use just a half for right now. You might only need a half, depending on how much you're making. I'm making enough to feed about 4 to 8 people. So what it is, it's onions, chicken, a couple of ingredients like cinnamon, garlic, salt and pepper. That's it. And then we're going to create rice on the side. You can add more onions to kind of give it more of a little more kick, but I'm just going to use 1/2 of an onion. But you usually have to buy one. You're going to let that stuff cook in here and start to brown a little. And you're going to hear it sizzle up and start to cook. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a chef knife and we're going to add our chicken. And if you can see, we are browning the chicken. And I'm going to add some garlic salt. I'm going to add some more later, some salt, some pepper, and I'm going to let that brown up. This should take about 5 minutes. Like I said, we are making chicken cacciatore. While that is cooking, I'm going to let that cook and brown up, and I'm going to get my cans ready. So I'm going to open these up. Don't worry about all the browning on the outside of the pan. It's going to give us some good flavor. And let that cook up. Still not there yet. While that is waiting, we will add 1 can of diced tomatoes, like I said, and 1 can of tomato sauce. One is 8 ounces, and the other one is 14.5. You can get a 5 ounce. I use Hunt's because it's just plain, and I'm going to add my ingredients. But I'm going to wait till this browns up. This should take a few minutes. Once that is done, we'll add that, and then we'll do the next step. If you have any questions or concerns or have any help on how to cook this, you could comment below. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I will have more content out soon. I really appreciate it. My name is Joey. They call me the chef in the house. So this is almost browning right here. As you can see, it is now a different color all the way around. The pot itself is a little brown. I'm going to add my can of tomato sauce, or diced tomatoes. My tomato sauce, it doesn't have to be in the perfect. I'm going to fill these up with water. I'm going to fill this up 3/4 of the way. Now, if you put too much water in there, it will be a little watery, and it is a watery-based sauce. But I'm going to do 3/4 of a can on both of them because I want it more of a thicker. So then I'm going to stir it up just a little, And I'm gonna leave the heat on still high, 3/4 of the way. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of brown sugar, about that much. Boom. That gives it the color and taste. I'm gonna add some more garlic salt. I'm gonna add black peppers. I use the ball version, which is the pebbles. Comes out better, more flavor. I'm gonna use salt. I'm gonna let it stir up. Make sure it's all stir. Use my little spatula. Make sure the ingredients are stirred in there real good. Go around the corners. And then I'm going to turn it down to low heat, about a little over low, where I still got a flame going. And I'm going to leave the lid on, and I'm going to check it in about a half an hour and kind of stir it a little more. But I want to let this cook for about an hour to 2 hours, just to soften the meat up, to get the temperature of the meat to 165, so it's cooked. Usually it takes about 2 hours for it to be fully cooked and that sauce to be ready. Then the next thing we're gonna do while this is cooking is about 20 to 30 minutes before this is done, so 2 hours, we're gonna start our rice. And then we're gonna go from there. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cook the rice with the vermicelli rice and with it in butter, just like regular rice for about 20 minutes. So that's how we're gonna do that. I just have to wait. So now since we're back, it is now 4:20. We are going to now stir the chicken. So take out the chicken, I'm gonna stir it. It's cooking, you could smell it. It smells so good. So we're just gonna let it cook on a low heat for probably another 30 to 40 minutes. And it should be done by then. So I'm just kind of stirring it around, making sure it's all good. I'm gonna put the lid back on. You kind of want to be fast with it. Get out of the way, and I'm gonna stir it one more time, and then I'm gonna start making the rice. And when the rice is done, then the chicken should be done. So we have about another hour. So now we're gonna make the rice for the chicken cacciatore. It's vermicelli rice. We're gonna use regular rice and a little bit of the other rice. We're gonna use a half a container. We're gonna use 1 cup and 1 cup out of each bag. We're gonna use butter. We're gonna use 4 cups. So that's 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. And I measured out 4 of these, that's a cup each, and 2 cups in each bowl. So like I said, 1 cup of vermicelli rice, 1 cup of regular rice. We're gonna use about 2 tablespoons of butter. So let's get started. Don't worry about adding too much or just make sure you have butter in there. We're gonna melt the butter. When the butter's melted, I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little so that butter's fully melted in there. And then I'm gonna add my rice. And I'm gonna stir to the vermicelli rice and brown it. And when this is brown, I'm then going to add 1 cup or the 2 cups of water and bring that to a boil. You want to continue stirring it because the reason why, you don't want to burn it. You're just browning it so it'll start eventually darkening to a darker brown. This rice is starting to brown, as you can see. You see how it's starting to brown in there? I'm going to add the 2 cups of water. And I'm going to let this bring to a boil. We're going to add another cup of rice. I'm going to stir it a little, just to make sure it's in there. And we're gonna add another cup of water. Now we have to let it go to a boil again. You're gonna stir this so it doesn't stick. I'm gonna turn the heat up a little so I can get it to a boil. And when it gets to a boil, all I'm gonna do, set the lid on and set the timer for 20 minutes. And this dish is ready to go, ready to be plated and enjoy. So now, since this is the most critical part, we have the chicken done for the Chicken Cacciatore. We have now made the rice, but it is not completely done. This is a critical part. It is coming to a boil, and we're gonna put the lid on. But we wanna make sure this thing is a complete boil before we put this lid on, so where it's bubbling. And we're not gonna take the lid off this rice, because if this rice is not perfectly done right, the dish is gonna just not taste as good. The rice will be chunky, so you have to make sure. Now the rice is boiling, the water's boiling, you see how the edges are? We're gonna leave the lid on. It is now 4:59. We're gonna plan for 5:19. And the dish should be ready and ready to plate. So that is a critical point. If you guys have any questions, just comment below. But I just made Chicken Cacciatore. I'm just waiting for that 20 minutes to pass up, and it should be ready to be plated and eat it and enjoy for dinner. Also, you have to turn it down to low to make sure the rice just cooks for that 20 minutes. These are critical points. So we'll wait 20 minutes and see how it goes. So now, since the rice is now done, the Chicken Cacciatore is done, and it's lit. I got a candle lit, it's that lit. Okay, we're gonna plate this, and it's all about presentation as a chef. So it's a little past the time. I let the rice make sure it's kind of almost perfect. I want to make sure it's perfect. I'm gonna look at it. It looks perfect. Everything's risen. The water looks like it's risen. It's gone. If you look in here, you can smell that good chicken. You know, it's still boiling. I got it boiling because I want to keep it hot. You know. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it over here. And then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna check the rice. I'm gonna lift the lid. If I lift this lid, it is done. That's the rice. Boom. I'm gonna stir it. Set it over here. Stir my rice up. Okay, I'm gonna plate it. You can use an ice cream scoop, but all I have here is a measuring cup. Forgot my ice cream scoop. So, boom. You got your sauce. You got your rice. I'm gonna do 2 cups. I'm gonna do 2 of them. And as you can see, they're falling apart. Onions in there. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. If you have any comments below, let me know. And this is Chicken Cacciatore with rice. It took about 2.5 hours. If you have any questions or concerns, please comment below.